if you have a fear of cold calling, I want you to comment, I have a fear of cold calling, because I may not know what you're answering to if I go back and watch this or go back to see the comments later. But if you have a fear, this is something that is completely understandable. Actually, 90% of investors that I work with have a fear of cold calling. They're scared to get on the phone. What's funny is I just talked to a lady that just joined our program today, literally 20 minutes ago, and she's like, I don't really have a fear of that. And I was like, you're one of the very rare ones, okay? Right? This is common. I had a fear of it. Lauren has a fear of it. And it doesn't matter if you've called before. It's a fear because I tell people all the time, it gets better the more you do it, but it comes more from confidence. But cold calling is not always fun, right? And so I'm going to give you some ways to kind of shift your perspective here and how we can really move forward and maybe not completely like just dissipate all the fear, but maybe in a way that will help you. And if you've been around for a long time, I give these tips because these tips work. They do help. Hey, Sonia. And you've probably heard some of these, Sonia, alone. So let's kind of talk about these fears of cold calling and how to debunk them. And funny, the story I was going to choose first is going to help Angie overcome this part alone. Okay? So I have a coach that used to be a student, okay? But long, long, long before she became a student, she shares this. And this story, please bear with me on this. It's so powerful. It's so powerful. So long before she got into real estate as an agent first, before she became an investor, she was getting foreclosed on. And to the point that, a lot of things were happening and she knew nothing about real estate. And her sons hid the letter that said that she had to be out in 72 hours. Well, one of her sons was like, we have to tell mom. We have to tell mom this is coming up. This is coming up. And she had 24 hours to get everything out by the time her sons told her. So she got out whatever she could, okay? And she got out whatever she could, drove by the next day to see if it was true, if they really did do it, and all of her stuff was on the street. Everything her entire life that she couldn't fit in a truck to get out was on the street. And she broke down. And she was like, this was one of the worst moments of my life. And she said, and you know what could have saved it is if one investor called me. If one person could have called me and told me there was a way out of this, it would have saved me years of humiliation. It took her years to get back on her feet from it. And now she turned and became she got into real estate because of that. Because she's like, if I could have just helped one person become, one person that is in the situation I was in, to help them through this, then I have done my life work. Now, obviously, she's helped many more than that. But this shows you that, yeah, there are some people that have the right to be frustrated. There are people that are going to be frustrated when you call. But what if the next person you call is another one of Patricia, which is the coach I'm talking about? What if it's someone that doesn't have the answers and is sitting here terrified? Because I have helped so many people, and my student, Paula, went live, how she saved a foreclosure from happening, and the seller came out just so joyful, so thankful that she reached out to them. Now imagine if her, or the investor that could have called Patricia didn't live in the fear when they had the solution. And so one of the things I say, and I heard this once, so don't yell at me, is that if you can't reach out when you have the solutions, then you're actually kind of being selfish here. Don't hate me for this. I heard this somewhere else, so you can hate them for that. But it landed with me. Because why would you not reach out if you have a solution to help people? It's like me sitting here not coaching. Because I know all the answers, so why would I tell you? Why would I tell you for $7? Right? That would be selfish. So turning around, when you have this fear, you're making this about you. And I'm not talking to anyone specifically, or I'm not talking to Angie specifically, I'm not talking to Lauren specifically, I'm not talking to Karen, okay? This is some breakthroughs to just think about. But why not reach out? Because if you are worried about you in this scenario, you're not in the business. You're not in the business for the right reasons. You are here to help other people. Real estate is a people-based business. So if you're not willing to help the people out, you're in the wrong business. And so this is just some mindset shifts that maybe help, right? And so make this about someone else. You are here to provide a service. You are here to help them get out of their distress.